everybody. Go flex yourself. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Go flex yourself. Hey, everybody. Go flex yourself.
Hey everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Conowitz, and with me as always is the mutton chops to my Fu Manchu, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me, bub.
That's what you think a guy that has mutton chops sounds like?
Yeah, Wolverine says bub all the time.
Oh, that's fair. He does say bub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck on that.
That makes, you know what, Nate Laux, you're my full mustache.
How you doing?
That sounds like a guy with a mustache.
Nope, guy with a full mustache.
A big bushy mustache.
Yep.
How you doing, everyone?
One with the curly Q mustache, like a.
No. I'm thinking of one that like it goes over the side and down a little bit. It's like a real,
almost Fu Manchu-ish.
Yeah,
like a 1970s.
Yeah, very big and bushy.
Like you drive a
like
motorcycle.
if they had one of those like
Ride a
circles at the end, it'd be like, "How are you doing, sir?" Because I feel like that's a little more like fancy.
Yeah, that's a fancy one.
Hello, I've got my monocle.
I'm drinking pumpkin ale.
I'm gonna tie a woman to train tracks.
That's a good one too. Yeah,
that's a good one.
They're all the same person.
Hey guys, it's a movie podcast that we're on right now. It's called Go Flix Yourself, and thank you for listening.
We talk about movies. We talk about some new trailers. We have random discussions about just anything related to movies.
And we also love it when you pause the podcast for about 2 minutes and go to iTunes and review us and give us 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
We love when you do that and tell your friends about us.
I do want to correct my boomer friend here. It's not iTunes anymore. It's Apple Music and Apple Podcasts.
And Apple Podcasts. That's true. That's true.
I am a millennial.
Go and smash that subscribe button. And
on the MySpace.
And give us 5-star reviews. Tell your friends. Tell people who otherwise wouldn't care about movies, and maybe we'll change their minds.
We will change their minds.
At the very least, we will annoy them.
We have the power to change minds.
The
Bradford.
power is yours.
We will personally reach out to them and convince them to watch your favorite movie.
I will go to their house. I will knock on their door.
Okay, well, and we're done. Nope. A little too far.
Let him sleep in your house.
Will you? Can't I sleep over? We can watch movies.
Okay, listen.
That's my new
What
character.
is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Let the boy sleep in your house.
This is my new character, Film Frank.
Film Frank?
Yeah.
Does he have a slight cough? That's what he sounds like. Yep, there it is. There's Film Frank's famous cough.
So would you like to watch some?
This is a great podcast. But Brad, on a serious note, real quick, who has been the delightful company that has decided to sponsor our podcast?
God bless him. God bless him, everyone.
Well, Ben, how do you feel about orchards?
Oh, orchards?
Yeah.
I love orchards.
Yeah. Now, do you prefer your orchards nice and kind, or do you like an angry orchard?
I prefer it to be...
Don't care. Angry Orchard is the sponsor today, and it's their peach mango hard cider. I'm not going to lie. Pretty sure this is older than I anticipated. The flavor is not great.
Was it out of my refrigerator upstairs?
No, this is from my house, and I think it's older because I remember having this and it tasting better, and it's not great today. But you know what?
How old are we talking about?
Like 2017?
No.
It's a vintage?
No, it's not like years old. I think it's just maybe like just a little bit past the prime flavor months. So
like, I mean, those last a while, right?
They do. Let me see if I can see the date on the can. Is there not one on here? No,
it's probably on the package.
Yeah, it's probably on the box. Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that the flavor of this one isn't as great as the one that I had last time. But I don't like beer normally, but I do enjoy a good hard cider, especially if there are other tropical fruit flavors that are part of it. So this peach mango one does it for me when it's in the prime of its life.
In the prime of his life. Nate, how you doing, buddy? Like, what's new with you?
You know, I'm doing great, but I'm bringing back a segment here that I'm very, very excited about.
Don't call it a comeback. It's been here for one episode.
Because I forgot to do it last episode. It's called Do You Wanna See It? And we're going to talk about the movies that are releasing this week because we want you to know what you can watch either at the cinema.
We're coming up on the end of spooky season.
Or on the Netflix or the Hulus or something like that.
Did you like how I also chimed in on the song?
Yes.
Yeah, it felt like you were kind of like on the coattails of Brad on that, but I liked it and tried.
I liked the
This
echo,
is me being
though.
supportive, though.
I like the
Instead
echo.
of being like, guys, don't do a fucking song every time.
I did appreciate you're growing and evolving,
All right.
that's all I can ask about.
I do want to talk to you about what is coming out.
All right, hey boys, what if I told you there is a crime drama film with Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne coming out on Netflix on Wednesday? would you want to see it?
No, because I know what it is, and I've heard that it's not great.
I should have gone first. I mean, it sounds intriguing. Is Eddie Redmayne going to go just full on crazy pants?
Hey, let me tell you what the title
yes,
is.
he is.
Let me tell you what the title is, and let's see if you care.
Okay.
It's called The Good Nurse.
It is not
It
called
is.
that.
It is, and he is a serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, pass.
See? Doesn't even sound good.
All right, well, that comes out on Wednesday, October 26th. All right, here's another one. What if I told you there's a new super...
Wait, what is this? What is
Yeah,
what's
no,
this,
that's
like,
the segment. That's the segment.
Sideshow salesman
Yeah.
approach to
Hold on.
telling us about movies.
Hey, Bradford. What if I told you...
Have you guys seen Entourage?
Yes.
Yes.
The Martin Landau character? What if I told you that? Does that not sound like something you'd be
that's
interested
exactly,
in?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Good, great.
All right. What if I told you there's a new supernatural horror film coming to the cinema starring Virginia Madsen, Jacqueline Byers, Christian Navarro, and Ben Cross? Would you want to see it?
Unless it's called Candyman 3, no.
I don't know who most of those
Do you want me to
people
read
are,
you
except
the-
for the lead
Virginia
there.
Madsen is from Candyman.
I do remember that.
Do you want me to read you the kind of summary of this movie?
The original Candyman.
Yes.
And she was absolutely a stunning knockout blonde in that movie.
Yes.
Yes. And now she's aged to what, 30 years?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm in.
This is coming out at the cinema
Oh, I know what this is.
on
Yeah.
Friday, October 28th. It's called Pray for the Devil. The Roman Catholic Church combats a global rise in demonic possessions by reopening schools to train priests to perform exorcisms.
And one of them is a woman, and she confronts a demon that seems to be maybe might have a history with her family.
So this is in that Halloween vein type of scary movie.
Yeah, it's an exorcism movie.
Yep.
I feel like the hardest part about this little segment is that, like, these movies could be shit or amazing based on a trailer. And, like,
Oh, you haven't seen the trailer?
You can see production value. You
Nope,
can see,
I'm
you
not
know what
giving you
saying?
that, though.
I know,
That's why
I
you
get
have
it.
to sign.
So I'm only have to base on what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
And I'm always probably going to say no. I don't care.
Well,
You haven't been to movie theaters in a while, have you?
No.
Yeah, because I've seen this literally every time I've been to the movies in the past month.
yeah, it's
The last movie
they're
I saw
pushing
at the
it
theater
hard right
was
now.
Yeah.
Bullet Train.
It is one of those
Bullet
films that
Train.
probably didn't cost a lot of money, and they don't have to make a ton of money either. You know,
Yeah.
so they're hoping for a good Halloween showing. People are wanting a scary movie.
Yeah, yeah.
If they make $20 million off this film, it only costs $5 million to make or something like that. You know.
That's fair.
So, all right. What if I told you, boys?
Let's just call this segment "What, if I
No,
told you?"
because I've already created a theme song for it.
Does that sound like something you'd
Do
be
you
interested in?
want to? Do you want to? Do you want to see it?
See it.
All right. What if I told you that there's a new romantic thriller film releasing on Friday, October 28th,
Romantic
starring
thriller?
Yeah, Margaret Qualley, Joe Alwyn. What
Alwyn.
is that? Is that Taylor Swift's
It is.
boyfriend?
Yeah.
Fiance.
Yep.
New album, by the way.
Can't wait for that song to come out in 10 years.
Benny Safety, Danny Ramirez, and John C. Reilly. Would you want to see it? And what if I told you that it won the Grand Prix at the 2022 Cannes Film Fest?
It's just the grand prize.
I think it's Grand Prix.
It's Grand Prix.
It's just a grand prize.
Yeah, it's-
Well, that does pique my interest a little bit. You had me at John C. Reilly.
yeah, I know. That's what I.
You had me at Palme d'Or. So, yeah.
Sure.
This is a film called Stars at Noon. It releases on Hulu on Friday, October 28th. A young American journalist stranded in present-day Nicaragua falls for an enigmatic Englishman who seems like her best chance of escape. She soon realizes, though, that he may be in even greater danger than she is. The film, unlike the novel, which is based off of, which is set during the Nicaraguan Revolution, which, again, Ben can fill us in on the details, is set in the pandemic era, present day. So you said you are willing to potentially see this film. No, you're not, though, right? Because
I'm good.
Okay. What about you, Brett?
Yeah. I mean, I might give it a shot.
It's got Margaret. I mean, it's got kind of.
It's got a good cast.
Yeah. All right. Finally, last one. What if I told you that there's a new horror comedy film releasing on Friday, October 28th on the Netflix, featuring the voice talent of Keegan-Michael Key, Jordan Peele, Angela Bassett, Lyric Ross, and Ving Rhames? And what if I told you that it's directed by the same guy that directed The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Coraline, and Monkey Bone? Would you want to see this film, Ben?
You had me at Monkey Bone.
I mean, I think that you do want to see this.
No, I do want to.
because
We've
talked
seen the
about this.
trailer before. This one I do know, and yes, I do want to see this.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Style
Wendell
looks
and
amazing.
Wild, releases on Netflix on Friday, October 28th. Listeners of this podcast will know we are very excited
Yes.
about this film, I
Yeah.
think.
Looks
so, all
great.
three of us. So
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe it's actually playing in limited theaters right
Oh,
now
stop.
as well.
Nobody's going to theaters to see it.
But it does come out on Netflix this Friday.
Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
Did you didn't get a press or anything?
I do have a screener. I haven't had time to watch it yet.
Brett, I know that the next segment that
That's
we
it.
do here is what's the last movie that you've seen? Brett, have you seen Black Adam?
No.
And I haven't either.
You tweeted about something. Somebody spoiled something for you?
He texted us to complain about it, I think.
No, I think he tweeted
I
about
didn't tweet it.
Oh, you
know,
just
I don't
texted me.
want other people to get
Sometimes our text thread feels like Twitter.
it's really that depressing.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of bitterness, a lot of bad jokes.
No, I went on the front page of Yahoo, and
They
if you could read between the lines, they spoiled the
Now,
end credits.
Tell me the headline.
I mean,
will that give it away?
No, because
I haven't
honestly,
seen it, so I don't.
honestly,
spoil it.
it's Monday, and the person who is involved with the spoiler came out and said it himself.
that was the headline.
Okay, that's that. Unfortunately, that's just the day and age we live in.
Okay, then
so
go- give it to me.
So
then. Go
basically,
ahead.
the headline said,
Hey, wait. Listeners that don't want to know, fast forward 30 seconds.
30
Go.
the Star confirms Superman will return, and it was like, all right. So I clicked it because I'm like, oh, did Henry Cavill say that he's going to be? And yeah, it's like, and the opening line of the paragraph was like, as confirmed by the end credit scene of Black Adam,
okay.
Superman will be played by
Okay.
Henry Cavill. I'm
But
like,
at the same time,
oh, okay,
this
Is
is
it
like.
Henry Cavill or Henry Cavill? Because
Cavill.
Okay.
But at the same time, this is
I'm
like
an idiot.
like it would be a bigger story if this wasn't the credit scene in Black Adam, because Dwayne Johnson has been teasing this ever since he said that he was going to be Black Adam 10 years ago.
No, and that's this. All this is. This seems like the easiest spoiler thing to like not get mad at, right?
Yeah.
But also, this is on the front page of and like it's the fourth day of the movie's release. I thought that maybe they would have had a little bit more delay. That's all. That's all.
I don't think that I think that they would have, but I think that like they probably want that out there, and the fact that like that Henry Cavill like wanted to confirm it and say like this is just the beginning, means that like it doesn't feel like it's that big of a spoiler.
Does this mean that though, like the next time that there's a Marvel movie on the Monday after it's released, you'll be like, they'll find some tangential reason to be like, we can spoil it now because it's been the weekend. Is
I
that
think it often
are
is
we
spoiled
trending that
pretty
way?
quickly
that
after.
does happen. It's people. I think oftentimes if nobody comes out from like the studio to like confirm it or anything like that's what makes it fair game for anyone to talk about. Basically, is if they put it out there as like part of the official marketing,
Sure.
then like that's when it's fair game. But if it's something that like people are trying, like they've preserved the secret and like they're no one's openly talking about it yet, then you try and be a little bit more secretive with your headline. You don't spoil it right.
Correct
out
me if
from
I'm
the
wrong, Brad, but I think Henry Cavill actually tweeted or posted on Instagram about it as well. Correct?
Also, this is
beginning.
longer.
That's what it was.
This is also way longer than 30 seconds. So anybody tuning back in is going to be really mad.
honestly doesn't matter.
Hey, by the way,
I just want you, listener, I want you to know I care about you.
Black Adam is not getting great ratings. Have you heard?
Well, it's getting great ratings from the audience. It has, last I heard, it had a 90% score from audience on Rotten Tomatoes.
it does. Yep.
The critics were not as kind to it.
9%.
90.
90.
No, 9 from the critics.
Oh, is it really 9?
No, it's 39.
Oh, okay. Well, but yeah, I mean, it's whatever, because of course now it's going back to the stupid thing. It's like, well, you know what, we made this for the fans, and it's like, motherfucker, critics are fans
And
too.
you can still be a good
Make a better movie.
It's getting
and granted,
critiqued,
I haven't seen it yet, but like
It's getting critiqued for a lot of what DC does, though. Very uneven, right?
Yeah.
The story's very uneven. It just doesn't feel. DC is not as good of storytellers in most of their films.
I'm pretty sure there's like a
as
big
Marvel is.
cryptocurrency ad in the middle of the movie.
it's like Space Jam all
Yeah.
over again. Like McDonald's is just right there. Black Adam is like, I'm going to destroy evil, but first, this Big Mac is amazing.
Yum.
What is that, special sauce? Well, my special powers are going to devour it.
This special sauce is gonna make
I'm
me
Black Adam.
shoot some of my special sauce.
Okay, that's not what he says.
How do you know? You haven't seen it.
I saw it twice.
I saw the scene. It leaked.
It says, he goes, I'm not Shazam, and then he eats it.
Good.
That's the villain.
So films, guys.
Anyway, hey guys, Brad, what did you watch?
So let's talk about our assignments first.
Yes.
Yeah, because I got to assign you a film.
Yes, you did. You assigned me a terrible film.
Stop it.
And Brad assigned me a film.
This film is actually on many lists of the scariest films of all time.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
I gave it to you because it's directed by a guy here in LaPorte,
Yeah.
John Hancock.
Well, I mean, he's not here in LaPorte, but he has made movies here in LaPorte.
No, he lives on Phil Road.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, down the street
That's
from
a
the
bummer
arcade.
for him. Anyway, yeah, this is directed by John Hancock, who the movie that you probably know best from him is Prancer.
Great Christmas film.
Yes, it is a pretty good Christmas
No,
film.
it's a great
It's a great
film.
Christmas film.
I
It's
love
pretty
it.
good.
I love it
It's-
with all my heart.
Brad, let's move on because I don't want to get my blood pressure up. Prancer
Wow,
is
Ben
fine.
loves Prancer.
I love Prancer.
Let's just keep going.
It's a Sundance Christmas movie, basically. It's
Let's just keep going.
So Prancer, it's called Let's Scare Jessica to Death. It is a 1971 horror film, of course, directed by John Hancock, and it's a premise that will be familiar to anybody who is like a horror fan today. Basically, these three people are moving somewhere because the titled character Jessica, she's had some kind of trauma, some kind of mental issues, and they're going to this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere so she can kind of unwind and relax and start to feel better, really kind of just check out from everything. But of course the small town near the farm house is kind of weird. She keeps seeing this woman running around and it's freaking her out, and no one really believes her because they think she's kind of crazy. And basically, as it keeps going on, it seems like that there is something strange afoot both in this house and around in the town. And that's all I'll say. But this is a very familiar premise. You can probably guess from the description where this is all going. I can understand why some might appreciate this movie, especially since it came out in 1971, and it was ahead of the curve as far as movies like this, I think. But it also kind of feels like a John Hancock version of Rosemary's Baby in a way. And so it's, there are some interesting things about it, but there's also some stuff that it's very 1970s horror. I do appreciate the score. And I like, there's some moments that do feel genuinely unsettling. But otherwise this movie is generally just okay,
It is John Hancock's directorial debut too. So I mean, it was his first film, but
yeah,
it is. I was actually, after I recommended it to you, I read more about it, especially the legacy it has in horror film.
Yeah.
And it is a love or a hate film. Typically people really love it. It is, again, in that early 70s kind of Rosemary's Baby kind of type of film.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that think it's kind of cheesy as well.
Yeah, and I mean, some of that is just because of that's how movies in the 70s do feel.
I feel like a lot of movies,
like
in the
even
70s are.
there's plenty of people who, if you've watching the original Halloween for the first time, even though it legitimately still is one of the greatest horror movies of all time, there's some stuff about it that's still kind of hokey because
Of course.
it's 1978. But yeah, so I didn't hate it. For a movie that is only an hour and a half, it definitely is. It's a bit of
It felt long, did it?
Yeah, it did. But yeah, I'm glad I saw it just for the history of it.
Speaking of long films, have you guys ever seen Titanic?
Jeez Louise.
The horror was sitting through that.
Thank you.
Ben, what did you watch?
I watched Unfriended.
Yeah?
Yeah, who gave you that film?
Bradford.
That's me.
And it's one of those that I did actually see in 2014 that I didn't mark off the list because I was watching it. No. I mean,
You know the rules. You know the rules.
so I watched it.
Well, of course you did. You watched it in 2014.
No, I watched it again. But I'm glad I did. I couldn't remember a damn thing about it, of course. And I realized that I went through the list the little list we built here. There are a lot of movies with titles like this where
You've forgotten.
it just didn't pop up.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't. I don't remember that was the title of that film.
Do you love movies?
Horror movies, especially though, they're so weird on the titles that it's like Unfriended. That could be a comedy, and I didn't take the time to look into what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am glad that I watched it again though, because it's the story of a viral video in 2014 that would be posted on social media about a girl at a party that is drunk and makes a bad decision and then her vagina basically is posted all over the internet, and then she kills herself. And that's a real thing that's happening, obviously, these days with social media and the bullying and all that stuff. So it's pretty poignant in that way. And that was probably the first time that was happening, as far as the consequences of social media were really being mined for horror films. And it's kind of a found footage film mixed with like
what's called screen life, where the movie unfolds on computer screens as these teenagers are having like FaceTime chats with each other and stuff.
And that leads that.
Does that work for you? Do you like the screen life type of film?
So what's the movie with John Cho?
Searching.
That's the best one.
Yes.
If nobody sees Searching is the best version of that.
Yeah.
It's incredible, honestly. Like, it's so good.
I've not seen it.
Unfriended is a movie in this genre, or in this framework, that does work pretty well. Honestly, I enjoyed it. It's a bit of a whodunit, because much like the Scream franchise, where they just become so silly with like, now I think it's him, now I think it's him. This wasn't as silly as that, but there was still a lot of like, if one of her friends really uploaded that video to the internet and made her kill herself, which one was it? And clearly the killer joins their chat and then one by one picks them apart to say like who did it. And and I love movies like that. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I won't spoil it in case anybody in the Halloween season wants to check it out. There was a choice that they made later on in the film that I don't know that I loved, but other than that, I really liked it.
Did you know there's a sequel to it?
I found that out. The Dark Web.
Unfriended, the Dark Web. Did you know they're making a new one?
Oh, no. Now I got to see the Dark Web, though.
Unfriended cryptocurrency.
They're not. Because I was going to say that. Well, Nate, doesn't that just tie into the Black Adam? The Black Adam.
The Black Adam.
I'm now on the internet.
Oh,
let's
good.
go to the Google.
Hey, let's go see that new Spider-Man movie.
The Black Adam. The one with the
Is it the Dwayne Rock guy in there?
Oh, I don't like him. I like the guy that can't see himself. What's his name? The Cena?
Stevie Wonder.
He does the Make-A-Wish stuff.
So there's if you're looking for another good screen life movie, actually this isn't a horror one. It's a thriller one. It's called Profile. And it follows this British journalist who is trying to expose a terrorist recruiter. And it's pretty effective the way they do it. Through
what year?
2018.
Oh, a more recent version. Because these were very popular in the 2010 through 2015.
But it came out in it was made in 2018, but it was released in 2021. It looks like, I think.
Nate, who made you watch a movie?
You did, buddy.
What did I make you watch?
You made me watch Crawl.
What'd you think?
So Crawl is a 2019 film, I think, and it's all about
hurricanes.
Well, I mean, yes, but it's more about like alligators than anything. It's like the Jaws. I
almost put up a fight with this recommendation because I was like, it's not exactly a horror, but it's a but it's a monster movie.
It is characterized as, because I looked it up. I was going to question it. I was going to challenge it with the judges, but it is actually what they call a natural horror film. Yeah. So
this absolutely fits.
It does.
I agree to a certain extent, but like for me, I would categorize this as like a survival thriller.
There are some genuinely scary parts, right? Yeah. But it's more like jump scares than like ghost scares, right? It's
like
not,
to me, like I don't necessarily immediately think of a horror movie involving like nature being the biggest threat, because like
so like what was Jaws to you? Is it just a blockbuster obviously now, but like back in the day,
that would be hard for me to describe as a horror.
That's the reason. That's the reason why I didn't find it, because people hated it. Because people do call Jaws a horror movie.
Sorry, hated it meaning I'm not going back to the beach. I'm never swimming again. It terrified them.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that is technically horror. I'm horrified by it, but
Jaws. But it's in the same.
So, yeah, it's that same concept essentially in a way.
Did you like it?
So here's the thing: is this film?
Now, hold on. I want to pause because you haven't said yes,
Sorry,
and that's the answer.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
It was fine.
Okay, so he didn't like it.
No. It was good. It was good. You guys have to understand. There are a few films I love. This was not one I loved.
You don't have to love it.
You don't have to love it.
Can I say no? Listen. I don't like the metrics in which you're giving me. I know
you don't like the Matrix.
No, the metrics in which you're telling me I have to enjoy a film. Let's say this: did I enjoy the film? Watching the film? Did I enjoy the film experience? Yes. Can I say that?
Okay, but
no. I'm not butting it, all right? I'm just saying.
Then don't start with it was fine.
Okay. What?
Just say I liked it. Because you're like, it was
I-
fine, which leads me to
I
believe
don't know how to make you
Nate,
happy
that-
anymore.
no,
I don't know how to make you
it was
happy.
fine means that's Brad.
I
that's a
try
Brad answer.
and try, and I try and I try.
It was fine.
Dinner is on when you get home.
It was fine.
I try to tell you all
Here's
the
the-
things that
here's
you
the thing.
like. I try to do all the right things, and I still can't say the right words for you.
It was fine. How was the sex last night? It was fine. That's an
what you
insult.
say all the time.
So if I ask you one of the movies I recommended that Brad, by the way, backed up and was like, "Ooh, that's a good one," in the text thread, and then you said,
Actually,
do you
what I
want?
said was, "Fuck yeah, good movie."
"See?" And now you're going, "It was fine." Fuck off. Fuck all the way off. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie.
It's not. It's not great. It's not great.
You're
Stop it.
sure you
It's
are
fine.
so
It
flip
is
floppy right
fine.
now.
This is
It is fine.
This is a great suspenseful monster movie.
It's fine. I don't love suspenseful monster movies.
So what? So okay, what problems do you have with it then?
Are you going to let me talk?
Yes,
You
I am.
scared of alligators?
Yeah, I don't love alligators. No, I mean alligators are scary.
But I bet you respect them now more, won't you?
Well, no, because I went on a rabbit trail after this. Went on a rabbit trail after this on the YouTubes, and I looked up, alligator owner reviews of this film, and come to find out, this,
Wait, no.
yeah, I
No,
did.
you
I
didn't
really
do
did.
this.
I really did.
Nate, you can't
looked
sit
up
here.
alligator
It's like-
owner reviews.
Hold on, no, wait, everybody stop. You're telling me that you the end credits are scrolling or crawling, if you will,
And I
and
immediately
you
went
pause
to,
and we're like, you know what? You know what I want to know about their opinions? People that own alligators for real.
no.
What did they think of this
alligator
film?
experts? Yep, and I found some good YouTube videos that we can post in the comments here. But here's the thing, because I wanted to know, could this ever happen to me? Could an alligator ever really attack me like this? Because I watched this film and I started getting a little weirded out by the alligators.
Well, I bet you if you get near their nest, they're gonna fuck you.
No, they're not. Here's the thing, Bradford. Alligators, because there was a lot of alligators opening their mouth to bite you underwater. They don't do that. All right? They don't do that. You know why? Because they would drown.
But that's what makes these ones scarier.
I know. All of this after I felt so I watched this film. I got all terrified by these alligators. Then I watched these alligator academic experts talk about the behaviors, the evolved behaviors of the alligators. I'm like, this was all a sham. This film is all a
Nate,
sham.
let me ask you. Whenever you watch a sci-fi movie and most of it takes place in space, are you sitting there pissed at every single sound you hear?
A little bit.
Oh boy.
But
This segment's over.
Did you get really
Okay.
mad at the shark from Jaws for eating a boat?
correct.
Like the shark would never eat a boat.
But here, listeners, let me talk to you for a second. So there's a question we've all had, and one of the questions that you've probably went to bed thinking about is, whatever happened to Barry Pepper? Barry Pepper got hired for this film, and he is in this film, and he does fine in this film.
He's
all right?
good.
Yeah, he's fine. I don't know
See,
why.
I've never gone to bed and thought, "Where's Barry Pepper?" Because I've seen him in movies, and I know. Oh, he's
what
an
has
actor.
he done?
He's a working
What
actor.
has he been doing? I don't know.
He was
I
in
don't-
Crawl.
I can tell you this though, Ben. I did get mad at you once, when I was watching this, because I thought, if Sugar the dog dies, I'm gonna hate you for the rest of my
Hey,
life.
did you guys? So I don't know if you'd ever utilize this because it would. I wouldn't, even if I did feel. Do
Do you know what I also hate about this film?
Oh,
As as the son of a concrete guy, there are no basements in Florida. Why is there?
No, it's a crawl space. That's why the movie's called Crawl.
There are no crawl spaces.
well,
in
it's
Florida.
also called Crawl because of the alligators.
I know.
Nate,
Yeah, but there
Brad.
are literally
fucking both of you.
literally
shut
they
up.
can't. The water table in Florida is so high they cannot even build a crawl space in Florida.
How
it's
high
on
is it?
slabs.
Sometimes they can.
No, they can't. They can't.
Sometimes they can. You know what? The next time we have Mike Flores from Nova Basement Systems on this podcast,
Mike Flores, will you please tell
I am
him?
literally going to ask him that
Will
question.
you please tell
he
him?
has to be on pretty soon because he just finished all the Fast and Furious movies for the first time ever in his
do love
entire
Mike
life.
Flores.
And now he just, every time I text him, he just texts back family. That's all he says. It's very weird. But I will ask him a legitimate question about crawl spaces in Florida. I think that they do have them.
The other question I had too when I was watching this film
But
is,
hold on, you interrupted Brad.
Okay, cool.
A
Brad.
long time ago.
Freaking A, Brad.
Brad, what were you?
I
gonna
forgot
say?
what I was going to say.
I know you did.
Do you remember what I was getting ready to say?
No,
What, Brad? Go ahead. Go. Say it. Say it, Brad. Say it.
literally can't remember now.
I honestly don't even remember what I was going to say.
Okay, another thing. I got other things that I want to talk about. In this film is as I was looking at this, so the film essentially is this daughter is going to go find her dad, can't find her dad, goes to this kind of vacation home. He's there, but he's in the crossface somehow. The alligator or alligators brought him down there, or he just was down there for some reason. It never really says.
It does say it. So it means you were on your phone the whole time because he was down there fixing a pipe.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it just, like, but here's the thing. What I didn't like about it I didn't dislike this, but what challenged me was if it was the middle of a hurricane and I didn't know where my dad was, and there were blood everywhere, and there was an alligator, would you save yourself?
No.
You would save your dad?
Yes.
Even though it's such a big alligator and he got like really rough teeth?
This got a little too deep. For what?
Because that's what I started wondering. Would I save the people that I love?
Of course you would.
Would I though? The alligators are scary.
This is a silly, fun monster movie.
No, see, I don't watch silly, fun things. I just start analyzing and going, "Oh, what if I run into an alligator tomorrow?"
Just walking down the street.
Exactly in LaPorte. I never know.
You can do a fender bender.
Directed by John Hancock.
Let me tell you this. As I said earlier, I enjoyed watching this film.
But you didn't like it.
It was fine.
Oh boy.
Well, that wraps up what the hell we watched. What did you guys watch this week? Let us know in the comments when we post this on Facebook, maybe.
So those were our assignments. I did see a few more things this week because I saw some more things for the Chicago International Film Festival.
You tell us what you saw, and then I'll wrap up with.
Hey, I also saw another film.
Me too. So. Well,
go ahead.
You do
we'll do a quick roundup.
The classy ones.
A quick.
And then we'll do what we saw too.
So I saw.
Spoiler alert! Mine has to do with Ernest.
The Importance of Being One.
Nope.
Scared stupid.
So I saw Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Oh, so jealous.
The sequel to Knives Out, of course.
Please don't.
Comes on Netflix.
I'm not going to spoil anything. So
Comes on Netflix soon.
Don't spoil good or bad either.
It does not come out on Netflix soon. It comes out on Netflix in like 2 months. It comes out in theaters in 1 month.
There's no way you can
for
do
a
this,
week only.
If it's bad, I don't want you to say anything. If it's good, I don't want you to say anything.
No,
you already told us it's great.
I am going to tell you. Yeah, I told you in a text already.
I didn't read it.
I loved Glass Onion.
Oh.
And
possibly better than the first, he said.
What?
Correct. I did not think Rian Johnson could outdo Knives Out. But this movie is funnier. The mystery is more complex. The way he plays with the narrative is fascinating. The cast is outstanding. Everything about this movie, it just takes the murder mystery to another level. It doesn't feel like he's trying to remake Knives Out or do something similar. It feels like a different kind of murder mystery because of what.
Would you say there's another layer to it?
Yes.
Like an onion?
Correct.
I am so excited about
All right.
Yes. It is very, very good.
When does this hit theaters?
I believe November 23rd.
But Netflix in 2 months.
November 23rd is when it hit theaters, and then I believe Netflix on December 23rd.
Okay. No, I love it.
I also saw Devotion, which is a World War II. Or not a World War II, a Korean War drama about Jesse Brown, who was the first black fighter pilot, basically. And Jonathan Majors stars in the movie, as does Glenn Powell, who you will know as the douchebag character from Top Gun Maverick.
But still somehow so charismatically handsome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so it's a fairly paint-by-numbers war.
We saw the trailer
war
for this.
drama, yes.
And we thought that that's what it was.
Yeah, it feels. I think it suffers a little bit because it is coming after Top Gun Maverick. The story about Jesse Brown being the first pilot and like the racism he still has to deal with and everything adds a nice layer to it. For me, what elevates it and really made me dig it still in spite of that is that both Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell are outstanding in this movie. Jonathan Majors is very quickly becoming one of my favorite actors. Like I'm now getting excited when I know he's going to be in something. And we'll talk a little bit more about him in a little bit with one of the trailers we watched.
No, both of the trailers we watched.
That's true, actually. Yes, you're right. Both of the trailers. And so yeah, so I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, and I liked it.
Were those the two, or did you watch more?
No, I also watched Empire of Light, which is a upcoming Searchlight movie. It is a British drama, and it stars Olivia Colman. Colin Firth is in it, and it's this one is interesting because I like a lot about this movie, but it feels like it's biting off a little more than it can chew. It's primarily set at this cinema house called the Empire Theater, and it focuses mostly on Olivia Colman's character, who clearly has dealt with some kind of mental trauma. But then it also focuses on this young black character who is like in his teens, and they strike up this unlikely relationship with each other. But it also deals with like what he has to deal with as a young black kid in like 1980s London during this time. It's a very incendiary time for racism in the UK specifically. But then there's also this part of the movie, the part that I really loved, is there's this beautiful reverence for cinema and just like being in a movie theater and that kind of thing. And it feels like there's three different movies kind of competing with each other for the spotlight, and neither one feels quite complete. And the stuff that like I love the most doesn't feel like it totally jibes with like the character stuff that it focuses with each of them. So I walked away liking it for the most part, but I wish that they would have taken like the cinema stuff and it would have been in a different kind of movie, and like it would have allowed the other stories to be more complete and that kind of thing. So still liked it, but I wasn't in love with it.
Is there part of this, because I tease you a lot, again, we're all fans of cinema, but I think for you, Brad, there's also a little bit of, panic's not the right word, but a little bit of worry about the future of cinema, especially cinema attending, because again, so many films are coming to TV.
Yeah, because some of my asshole friends keep talking about watching movies at home.
No, on my phone specifically. But
Do you guys not fly?
Was there part of that
On a flight? Yeah, you can just watch them on your phone.
Was there kind of a sadness to the film to look back at what film was in the 80s in cinema attending?
Well, no,
it was still such a big thing.
No, because honestly, at this time, at least this particular theater, it's not one that is like super heavily attended.
Okay.
You know, so like it's the theater itself, like it has kind of like I don't want to say like a resurgence, but like they get a chance to have like a premiere there, and like it's a gala event for them. But like there's not really much of a focus on that. It's just the way that they talk, the characters talk about, you know, the theater itself, and like especially Toby Jones plays the projectionist.
A great actor.
There is one particular line that he says that like I don't think anybody else will feel it like as much as like somebody like me would, but it's one of the most beautiful ways I've ever heard anybody talk about like watching a film with like the
more beautiful than Nicole Kidman.
But it's all he does is simply describe basically how film works.
Yeah.
But it's how he says it, and like it's the wording that makes it beautiful. And yeah, so I don't want to say like it's not like it's a spoiler or anything like that, but like I'll talk about this at a different time.
In this place, we watch drama.
Written and directed by Sam Mendes, so somebody that's clearly maybe not his best film, but clearly loves film.
In this place,
what are you doing?
We watch
Nicole
magic.
That's not even.
In this AMC theater,
he's basically doing Chloe Feynman.
Yeah, he's not doing a great impression, but we let him be him.
So
Australian.
Yeah. And then the last movie I watched is Deadstream, which is a Shudder original. This is back to our spooky season thing. And so this is a really fun movie. It follows.
What's it called again?
Deadstream. It follows your prototypical YouTube streamer who has his own show, and his show is basically that he does things that scare him. So it's like the kind of thing where he's always like terrified and freaked out about stuff. It's always a bad idea.
Is it a found footage type of film?
Yes. No? Well, not found footage, but he is. It's his stream.
Okay.
It's following his live stream that
so
he's
much
doing.
like the stuff we were just talking about with searching.
Kind of, except it's like if you were watching a Twitch stream.
Gotcha.
That's how it's presented. And so his latest thing, and it sets up the idea that he had some kind of controversy where like he was kind of canceled for a bit, but then apologized and came back. And his latest stunt, he's back, is he's going to stay overnight in this haunted house in the middle of nowhere. And so what unfolds is a movie that basically feels like a YouTube stream version of Evil Dead. And that includes the campiness and the humor and the appeal of what is clearly lower budget horror effects. And it's funny, and the campiness adds that. But for me, is as I was watching it, I didn't know that I was going into a movie that was meant to be campy. Like I thought that the portrayal of the YouTuber in question was like meant to be satirical and like, okay, this guy he's clearly meant to be annoying.
Instead, the movie was just very annoying.
No, because
it's getting great ratings actually.
Yeah, no, because it's and honestly for me, it's after it was over, I appreciated it for what it was, but I also kept waiting because what I was anticipating was that the movie, the premise itself, that was that this guy set up this whole thing and it was not, that it was like a fake, like it was a thing that he was like putting on a show basically, and then he was going to get caught up in real terror. But it is all real terror. It's just done in such a campy way that it feels like I was expecting that. Oh, this is clearly going to be a fake thing, you know. But it's not. So, but once
just didn't have the budget.
But yeah, but once there was a certain point where I realized, oh, they're doing Evil Dead basically, because like it was just you suddenly realize the presentation of it is like it's meant to be campy. It's meant to be kind of hokey in a way. But it is a lot of fun. So yeah, Deadstream. It's available on Shudder.
I saw the movie Bros. Yeah. Have either of you seen it yet?
Not yet.
No.
I need to.
It's on my list.
It's available on VOD now.
Yep, I rented it at home. Of
course you did.
It was good.
You haven't even seen it.
I know, but like,
if you wanted to go see it in the theater, go see it, Brad.
But I haven't had time. I've been going to an upscale film festival.
But you're also shitting on him for actually seeing it.
But guess what? I have the choice.
And I rented it. I paid money to rent it.
I have the choice to watch it at home or see it in the theater. I'm going to go see it in the theater.
No, you didn't see it at all.
But I'm going to this week. And I'll see it in the theater. Yeah. And we'd be able to see it a lot more often if people would support these movies in theaters.
Wow.
You know what?
Just the stance there.
Yeah, see movies in theaters.
You know what I don't like right now? I don't like your attitude.
you know I don't like right now? Your attitude.
Podcast
hey guys,
over.
You know what I love? Both your attitudes right now.
So I can tell you this. We talked about this film in a previous episode. I was very excited about this film. It's got all of the things, the type of comedy I like, these kind of things. It was a good film. I think I went into it, sometimes you go into, especially for me for comedies, I go into sometimes comedies really having like high expectations, sometimes more than any other film.
Yeah.
And I didn't probably get the laughs that I wanted. There's some really heartfelt moments. There's some good moments. I felt it was a little paint by numbers at times. Honestly, it was clearly, the one, groundbreaking thing is you've got a love story of a rom-com of two gay characters, which is great.
Well, not only that, but the entire cast is composed of LGBTQ plus
absolutely
people.
So you have that element. But what it felt like though is like and again, really well done, really well acted. But I thought at times it could have been funnier. I enjoyed the film though. I laughed a lot. My wife and I watched it together. She laughed a lot too. I liked it. I don't know. I think I just went into, and this is my fault.
I think your bar was just a little too high.
Yeah, not the film's fault. I went into it thinking it was going to probably be the funniest film of the year. It was not, but it was still a very good film.
All right, fair enough. I also watched Pop Star Never Stop Stopping.
Oh, you've seen
Never
this.
Stop, Never Stopping.
Never Stop, Never Stopping.
You've seen this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
But we were on vacation this last weekend, and there were a group of us that hadn't ever seen it.
Did they love it? Did your friends love it?
Fucking loved it.
Because I would have a really hard time if they didn't.
Susan Swarner, friend of the podcast, was
Susan.
At a certain point, I think, almost crying with laughter.
Oh, that's the response you want.
And so the things that I forgot were, I knew there were cameos. Holy shit, I forgot.
Oh, it's crazy.
How many there are?
Every single person that you would want to be in that film is in that film.
What's interesting about that, too,
all of them,
Ben, is some of the cameos are probably, at the time, you didn't even know the characters as much, but now they've gotten more famous, so you see them.
And maybe that's why they were more available then, blah, blah, blah. And some of them were, 7 seconds long?
There are musicians in this movie that, like, people who make documentaries probably couldn't even get for real documentaries.
It's just, there's probably, 35 to 45 cameos in this film. And they're all amazing. Some are so long. Seal's cameo, of course, is tremendously long. That's almost a bit part. It's not really even a cameo at that point. So many.
That scene in particular reminds me, like, it's such a throwaway joke, but I love the delivery of it. And it's when they're having, it's that wedding scene, and they asked the wolf wrangler, played by Paul Scheer. He's like, "Hey, can we get the wolves to be more quiet?" And he just goes, "No."
Such a good line. So there's a couple things in there that I absolutely forgot about and just treasure that they made that into the film.
I need to rewatch this because I haven't watched it in
God,
quite a
it's so
while.
good.
I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago.
But like, so the guys from Lonely Island obviously are very involved in it. But one of my favorite cameos, is it Judd Apatow's dick?
It's not. That was a joke.
It was a rumor?
It was a joke. It was
Okay.
a joke. It was a joke that they made up.
So in the limo, there's a scene where somebody comes up and wants sign my tits, and he wants to sign it, and he's not paying attention. And the next one is a human penis. It's
A girl who has to sign her boyfriend's dick.
Yeah, and then it's like he's like the way Andy Samberg looks when he's trying to sign it and just kind of like prop it up and like it was just so that part was I forgot how funny that was, but also there's I think that so we watched it with like about 12 people in the room.
Yeah.
The funniest scene by far in the movie is when it fades to black and they just do the voiceover and the captions of the bees.
Oh yeah.
So there's a scene where it's just like in the movie it would be impossible to film because that would cost so much money. But instead it's like, oh, there's some bees over here. And it just fades to black and there's captions. Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many of them. Oh, they're attacking. Hand me my flamethrower, and they just
Oh my God! It's the queen.
It's just huge. We have to kill her, and it would be hilarious if it was filmed, but it's even more funny as a choice that it's just, and then it's like, did you get that to the camera guy? And he's like, no, you told me to cut. It was in that moment. The people in the room laughed harder at that than anything else in the movie. It was so good.
If you haven't seen Popstar and you watch this, it might sound hard to believe, but Chris Redd had not been cast on Saturday Night Live.
This is pre-SNL Chris Redd.
Yeah,
and he's tremendous.
He is so funny in this movie. And I remember when he got cast on SNL, I was so excited because he was so good in this movie.
I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
How have I never heard of him? His eyes specifically, and as we saw in SNL later, he could do so much with a look because of that. This is the first time we ever saw that. Man, he got the crazy eyes.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, no.
All right.
10 out of 10. Watch Popstar tomorrow.
Love Popstar.
Hey, we watched, speaking of Jonathan Majors, which Bradford brought up earlier, we watched some trailers this week.
Yes, we're doing
both of them.
Double the majors, double the fun. And we're going to start with...
Would you say it's a double major?
No.
Oh.
Nice try, though.
That'd be kind of a fun play on. Anyway, first trailer, I guess. But fuck you guys.
We're going to start with Creed 3.
The Scott Stapp story.
Yeah. Can you take me higher?
That's
To a place
this is the bit. Double major's not funny, but this is the fucking
What if
Creed 3.
Creed 3, the third film in the Creed franchise, a spin-off of the Rocky franchise, a spin-off of the Rocky and Bullwinkle franchise.
Hey, I didn't see Sylvester Stallone in this one.
Oh, they probably fucking killed him.
Oh.
No, I do think he's probably going to be dead in this one.
Oh.
But yeah, so Creed 3, it's continuing the story of Adonis Johnson, played by Michael B. Jordan, who was fantastic in the first two films. Now he's also directing this third movie.
Directorial debut.
Yes.
This is a big film to get your debut for.
It is.
But also story by Ryan Coogler.
Yes, Ryan
Yeah,
Coogler's still involved.
There's still a heavy hand there, which is good.
Yes, absolutely. And I think this looks really good. Jonathan Majors is the new opponent.
What a beefy hotcake.
Holy
Seriously,
shit.
when I saw him lifting weights, stuff like that, I was like, oh my God, I had no idea he was
my
that
word.
ripped. It's insane. So he's the new opponent. I like the dynamic between the Creed and this character because it's somebody from his past.
Yep.
That they have a history
it
together.
feels very Rocky
Yes.
to me. Like this belongs in this universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is something that Sylvester Stallone's character would have done.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, he's from my past. I'm going to bring him into my life. You know, I have so much. He has so little. It's partly I'm responsible, clearly, in the trailer.
But there's still ghosts in the past
Oh
kind
my
of still
God.
dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perfect premise, honestly.
And like seeing Jonathan Majors' character in this movie too, like he does so much like where a role that seems like it's just like, you know, a run of the mill kind of performance, he brings like something different to each one. Like he's the kind of actor, it's clear that he puts a lot into really transforming himself, just right down to his voice. Like it's I actually Jonathan Majors was at the Devotion screening that I was at for the Chicago International Film Festival, and I was not expecting him to be so soft spoken. Like the way he talks, his voice does not sound like any of his characters in any of his movies. So like, and I always love hearing when actors are able to do that, because some actors, they pretty much always use their own voice unless they're doing some, you know, serious transformation. But Jonathan Majors really like just transforms every single
Jonathan
time.
Majors, Chris Pratt, two of the best able to just like throw their voices, you know. That's
If Jonathan Majors was cast to play Super Mario, I would be excited.
Me too, actually.
So when I saw
Hey, it's me, Jonathan Majors.
That's your
I'm
Jonathan Majors?
Mario.
Okay, good.
No, as Mario.
when I
Right.
saw the trailer, I thought actually the story does fit, right? Like you said, in the Rocky universe, which means for me it's a little paint by numbers. You know,
of course.
So you could
But
look
in
at
the
that
best
and
way,
say,
in the
yeah,
best way.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can look at that and say, well, you kind of know,
I'm
right? You
excited,
kind of know
though.
where it's going.
Name me
but
another
to see
franchise where you
Jonathan
get
Majors and
excited
Michael
about that.
B. Jordan playing apart from each other. I mean, it's just, if you are a fan of good acting
Listen,
and good action,
In
this is what you
no
want to see.
other trailer could I watch a scene in which in 2022, hey, I'm coming up against something that I don't know what to do, and the female character is like, well, I guess you better fight him,
Tessa Thompson's like,
and I'm like, yep, no, yes, please fight him. Like,
Yes,
instead
yes.
of being like, this is okay, it's 2022, we don't need to fight
We need
anymore.
to talk about this.
No,
We
like,
need to talk
fuck
about this.
that guy up. I want to see that movie, and it's because the stakes are there, everything's there. Like, I am so excited to see this film. Oh, it's so good.
Now there is one downside
What?
to this. It's a little bit weird because I don't know how you feel about this, but every Rocky movie has come out in November
and this comes out in March.
for Thanksgiving release. This
Really?
is coming out in March.
Every
Rocky
every
movie.
Rocky and every Creed.
Every single Rocky, every single Creed movie came out just before Thanksgiving.
So why do you think that's important? Honestly, these days, why is it important?
It's the same reason that like for originally Star Wars movies used to be summer movies. Then they became December movies. And so there's just a feeling like it's mostly just a tradition basically. Like it feels like the Rocky movies, Creed movies, they should come out around
So is
Thanksgiving.
this heavy-headed studio action?
I don't know what the decision is. I don't know if
March is not like this gangbuster month.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like I think that maybe they recognize that they could probably maybe have
Clean
an
up a little
easier
bit.
time in theaters if they're
And that's
like
fair.
the only big movie around that time. There might have been a production timetable thing as well. You know, I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but yeah.
This trailer is cut so well and it looks so good that I'll see it in the theater.
This is no indication of quality for me whatsoever. But
And if it comes out in November or March,
Nate will still watch it on his phone.
I will accept it with arms wide open.
I see what you did there.
With arms wide open.
All right, so we did say double the Jonathan Majors, and we weren't kidding.
We said double major.
Well, it's a major double,
I think you said double major.
and no one was a fan.
Literally, we're getting emails right now from podcast listeners going, that's tolerated now?
Yeah, someone just tweeted at me, big fat fingers.
This isn't live.
21,
This is not live.
Big Fat Fingers 21 is saying, "Who did the double major joke? What is this
That we're
amateur
not-
hour?"
Is that
We're
a
not-
guest?
we're
Don't
not
ever
live
have them
streaming.
back
How-
on. That's what
how
they
are you doing
literally
this?
just said
Are you,
on Twitch.
Brett? Are you tweeting?
Uncle Gunther on Twitter just said, "Who's the guy with the terrible college jokes?"
I read it.
Is that
he sounds like
is
a
that
monster.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's uncle from Killing Gunther?
What? There's like 5 people who are like, "Man,
And you know what? I love you. And if you're one of them, reach out to me. I'll give you a prize.
Have you guys ever been to Quantumania?
is it like Toyotathon?"
Yeah.
No, so we did watch the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Originally, we weren't because I didn't know this trailer was coming out.
And I was actually excited because you initially assigned us Matilda. I'm like, yes, musical theater, I am in.
And maybe we'll talk about that on a different episode because we'll have plenty of time to talk about more movies.
Matilda. Yeah.
But anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is coming out next year. It is the 3rd movie in the Ant-Man franchise. It is the 20th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And man, this looks awesome. It looks like
the first film in Phase 5.
Yes, and this is they've said this movie will begin the direct path to Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret War. So this is going to be a big deal. Jonathan Majors is coming back as Kang the Conqueror. You might know him better as He Who Remains from the end of Loki, but he's going to be a big time villain in the MCU. Basically will be the next Thanos level villain, and he appears briefly in this trailer. This trailer is big. This is the biggest Ant-Man movie by far, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Everyone gets sucked into the quantum realm. There's a whole microscopic city down there.
Oh, I love the visuals.
Visuals are amazing.
Just so good.
Yeah, this looks a lot of fun.
Did you see this trailer already?
So what's interesting is they did play a trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania at D23. This trailer is significantly different from what they showed us, and it's even significantly different from the trailer they played at Comic-Con as well, because there was not an Elton John cue in it. There's a bunch of quantum realm stuff that they did not show in those trailers. But so this was fun for me to watch, even because I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of new stuff here.
And I'm still not sure, again, as somebody that likes to study and kind of think about where this is going, but I've not read the comic books, so it might be following a comic book narrative, and I don't know. But this is a different variant than the Kang from Loki.
Correct.
And so I'm just really intrigued at where the story's going, because the trailer gives you enough to go, man, this is going to be good, but I still don't know, which is the best trailers, right? It gives you enough, kind of a little bit of morsel to figure out, okay, I see a little bit of where it's going, but there's still so many unsolved and unresolved questions I have. I just can't wait for this. I really cannot wait for this.
Ben.
It's going to be so good.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking. I watched the trailer, obviously, and
are you fans of the first two?
Yes, but because they're these small little movies, they're these little things that you just kind of like. They're like,
you say they're fine.
They're little appetizers for the MCU, and this feels like they're trying to turn Ant-Man into a main course, and I hope they can pull it off. But those characters, I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael. Or what's his name?
Michael Douglas.
Yeah, sorry, Michael Douglas.
He's a new actor on the stage.
I've never seen him before. No, they're in their, I
think you'll find that you'll have a fatal attraction to him.
Oh boy, 70s and 80s now.
Yeah, no, they're old.
So
I don't think Michelle Pfeiffer is as old as Michael Douglas.
No, Michael Douglas is old.
But you've got two very, very historically
he was in
gifted
Talkies.
actors, and I just don't know that. So it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 meets the Eternals in that they're trying to build an entire world underground immediately with no other MCU characters in this, and that's going to be really hard to do.
Wait, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
I don't understand what you mean. Like, what do you mean they're building this entire world?
So the quantum realm clearly has a shit ton of characters, right? All these people pop up, and they're like in a Star Wars universe underground is what it feels like, but it's clearly in the quantum realm.
Yeah. So what?
I'm just like the Eternals failed miserably trying to introduce so many characters.
I don't think they're I don't think these things that we see in the trailer are main characters.
I don't know.
Do you guys though think that if they could recut the trailer again, they would probably not include Bill Murray?
Well, I will. So he had lines in the trailers that we saw.
Oh, so they did cut some of them out.
So I think they probably might have cut some of them out. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that whole Bill Murray situation plays out. But.
It just seems to me that they're taking what is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and then making him into a world-ending.
I will say there is
Ant-Man was always meant to, in my opinion, was meant to be a very small story guy, and now he's expected to carry this enormous weight. It's a lot, man.
But part of that is because people do love Paul Rudd too, right? Paul Rudd is a great actor that can carry this. But there is a group of people that love the Ant-Man character.
Sure.
Well, not only that, but the scale of Ant-Man has, like, it's been hinted at. It was hinted at in the second movie, even in the first movie, that there's a lot more to the shrinking technology and the quantum realm specifically. The second movie, like, obviously when you think about the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer's character came from that and she was able to survive down there's clearly something more to it, so like it was always hinted at. I don't think it's on the scale of introducing something like as far as like as big as the Eternals, because the Eternals has this like they had so much story to tell because of how long the Eternals had been on Earth, and Earth.
But also, like, to that point, the quantum realm has always existed. So you're trying to
But you
build
don't
this
need-
entire lore and tell you everything about it.
But the story isn't called like the quantum realm. It's called
It's just
Quantumania.
Quantumania, which is
but it's
way
not,
different.
But it's not focusing on those characters as the main characters in the same way that the Eternals were the characters who had been around for so long and they had such a history to tell.
All I'm seeing from the trailers is you're taking 4 very well-known characters and putting them in a universe that has never existed in the MCU at length.
but I
and
think-
then they're trying to make it work.
But
And
you're
that's
always
tough.
putting every Marvel character into a world or a situation they haven't been before.
You have to introduce new worlds. I think, though, part of the what this is going to answer as well is what was Michelle Pfeiffer doing
Exactly.
when she was in the
Exactly.
quantum realm?
Sure.
And who are the people she met when
She
was
clearly
there?
knows all these people.
Yep.
She's like, what are you doing? She's
Yep.
like, you need to shut this down immediately. So like, there's some bad shit going on.
Yep.
down
And
there.
so we're gonna see what happened in the second film. We're gonna fill in some gaps that they didn't answer. But
This
what
is the
from what I
same-
understand is this is gonna open up the whole 5th phase
Sure. No,
of the MCU. And so
the whole like Peter Parker and Doctor Strange fucking around with the multiverse and creating a chasm, right, is the same thing with Paul Rudd's daughter here, Scott Lang's daughter doing the same. It's the same premise. We're fucking around and now we're going to find out. And I'm like, okay, I guess we've seen this before, so let's see where this one goes. I'm just getting really kind of tired
So for
of
me,
the same thing over and over again.
For me, the big draw this time is seeing Jonathan Majors as Kang. And I
because
wonder,
I loved him in Loki. I really did.
And honestly, you don't get as good of a taste of him in this trailer as you do in the stuff that they showed us at D23. Because I will tell you, the scene that they showed at D23 that they ended on it's kind of chilling in a way because just of how calm his performance is. It's a little bit different from how he was at the end of Loki.
Almost Shakespearean in Loki.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this one he's just a lot more quiet and calculated. Like he knows everything basically because he's been around so much and he's done this. And so,
Thanos-like, right?
yeah, and so this even more like I don't know. It's like you have to see it because like what I really loved about it is what happens in the scene is Ant-Man. He's meets Kang. He's like I don't even know who you are, and he's like, but you just made a big mistake, man. He's like, I'm an Avenger, and he looks at him and he goes, oh, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you before? And Scott Lang, he's like, what? And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I've killed so many of you. He's like, I just lose track. And so like, it's this, he's a fucking badass character, and Major's performance, like, I just love it. Just the way he talks. And so I'm that has me the most excited.
To give a little bit though, I think Ben, you brought up Cassie Lang. I am a little worried and interested to see what they're going to do with her character. Though they are setting her up as a new Avenger, right? She's part of that young Avengers.
Yeah, her
group.
character is part of the Young Avengers in the comics,
and so
she has
she's
a
going to be in
superhero
films and be a part of the
Gets her own
stories.
suit.
But that's a third actor, right? That they've had obviously different ages and everything.
Sure.
I'm interested to see how all of a sudden can she access.
I don't know.
I get some of those questions.
I'm just on the fence a little bit just
I
because
understand,
I've
but-
seen Guardians 2, I've seen Eternals, I've seen Endgame.
Did you not like Guardians 2?
No. I'm just saying. These visuals are so. What a crazy world build! It's like, well, I've seen that actually. It was called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and that was incredible. It was mind blowing, and so was Guardians 1. I've already seen this, so
Yeah.
I'm not as blown away by like, wow, the quantum realm looks amazing. At this point, the MCU has built themselves up so much that it's no longer impressive. When I said that trailer did not impress me as far as like the setting. That's just, it could have been anything. I want to see what they're doing with the story, and that's not exactly Marvel's strong suit. They're kind of paint by numbers as far as like there's going to be action, and we have to make sure that there's enough comedy there, and it's this very balanced thing. We can't go too far in one direction. Everybody hates Taika's version of where he's going with Thor. It's too silly.
I didn't hate it.
The idea is, if you go too far in that direction, you're getting bad reviews. You got to keep the status quo. And I just don't like that for Marvel. I want more outlandish shit. Like, the biggest splashback you've gotten has been from Multiverse of Madness and from Thor Love and Thunder, because it's not as universally beloved as it used to be, because these directors are actually allowed to take a few swings, and the general audiences are calling them misses.
I don't think that's the reason. I think Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness was not a thing where people didn't like. Some people didn't like Sam Raimi's style, but I think the bigger problem with Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness was that it had a messy story, and the same can be said for Thor: Love and Thunder. And this is coming from somebody who really did like both movies. I still like Thor: Love and Thunder, but after you watch it again, after you see it the first time, it's still funny, but the story is very messy.
I just don't love the fact that you can't like take swings to like try to be fun or silly with things.
I don't think that's true,
because sacrificing like the because again they're just always on your neck about like this has to fit the next narrative. This isn't a standalone movie.
I think James Gunn has taken he's
done it the right way.
Yeah, I think that there are some instances where that feels the case, but like James Gunn, especially Taika Waititi with Thor Ragnarok before Thor: Love and Thunder, that was very different for Thor.
That is the North Star for me.
And that was a big swing. But I think right now, I haven't been the biggest fan of the Marvel movies in Phase 4 so far. I still enjoy aspects of Multiverse of Madness. I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I think that, Thor: Love and Thunder is fine for the most part. It's entertaining, but then like some of the veneer shakes off when you watch it again. And I do think that there's something to be said about I think they're building to something, but we're not necessarily privy to what that is yet. And so some of the stuff might feel a little bit better after we get to a point where like things start to come together. Right now, where I think Marvel is maybe shining brightest is in their TV stuff, because that's where they are taking bolder swings and they are trying completely different stuff. Werewolf by Night is awesome. It's this very cool special presentation that has a black and white classic monster movie style. Even though I was lukewarm on She-Hulk for most of the series, the final 2 episodes of She-Hulk were
really
fantastic.
Yep.
Especially the finale was incredible. It made my lukewarm feelings for the most of the first season like worth it, like worth sticking around for. And so I think that, and they have a lot of other exciting TV stuff coming too. Ms. Marvel was another example that was great. So I do agree that Marvel will always have a paint by numbers thing, because this is just how superhero movies are. It's I guess it's the status
my thing
quo.
is I'm getting a little tired of it. That's all.
And you're not the only one. I've heard plenty of people say that, and especially because there's so much of it now too. So
I can only have so much chocolate cake, guys.
Well, I can have as much chocolate as I want to, because I'm a fucking adult.
I will say too, I think it's important to remember they're not inventing the quantum realm in what we see here. Comic book fans will say this is a world that does exist already. These are characters, and maybe not all of them, but many of these characters in the quantum realm already exist on the pages of the comic books.
I already have so much trouble finding out if the when they flash something on Star Wars movies where it's like it says like Bagarn, and I'm like, is that a character or a planet? What the fuck?
Wait, do I need to remember him or no? Do I need to remember him?
A notepad, and I guess I don't want to do that with the MCU.
I think it's a valid critique. I saw the trailer. I was excited about the trailer.
Yeah,
I'm going to
too.
see the film. I'm excited about it. But I get it. I get what you're saying.
I get it. I don't like it though.
The trailer?
No, you.
Oh,
and your attitude and your opinions and.
All right, it's time for our game for the day. We just.
You have a song you want to do?
Yeah, a little song.
I can create a song.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because that's the rules.
Let me think. All right.
It's so hard for me right now not to want to to make you not do a song, because Ben's so smug about it. It's like, no, because that's the rule.
I know, but I actually love it. But for me, I go into my head and I got to think about,
You know what, Nate? You don't have to do a song.
It's the horror quiz. Horror quiz. It's the horror quiz. Horror quiz. It's the
a key change.
Horror quiz.
I didn't realize this is all I had to do.
Quiz.
You could have been doing this for years.
Yeah,
buddy.
seriously. I thought I was like, okay, I had to take a famous song.
I mean, to be fair, that
change
was usually
the
what we
lyrics.
did. But I like
And
this
now
whole
I
new
just
original
feel
song.
like, role play, having role play.
Yes, that's
role
great.
play, and that's all I had to do. Yeah, guess what, guys? I'm no longer scared.
But you also have to put your heart into it. Did you hear Nate? He put his heart into it.
I did. I closed my
From
eyes.
this-
I went for it.
He felt like he was
I owned
doing
it.
like this R&B, like Ronettes version.
From this moment on, I will never be scared to do the theme song ever again. It's so easy.
But you have to listen to this.
Fine.
Yeah, he's got heart.
I will easily. This
Heart
is so
and
easy.
soul.
I apologize for always
right.
making it more than it was.
I'm going to give you some questions
no matter what,
from.
I got this.
This is a quiz, and you guys can buzz in. All right, whoever knows the question first, buzz in. This is about horror films. Trivia, essentially, from horror films.
Yes.
This is an easy game we're going to play. Ben, can I get your buzzer, please?
Bam.
Brett. What is that again?
Jimmy.
Okay.
Wait.
Jimmy.
Are you saying Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Chibi.
Chibi.
Jimmy.
And again, Ben, yours is. All right. Here we go. What eerie film is credited with coining the notorious phrase, "Do you like horror movies?" Ben.
Scream.
That is 1 point for Ben. The synopsis below most accurately represents.
I want to go back real quick. So the question is, do you like scary movies? And so that's why I was kind of thrown off by it, because I thought that there might have been a
That's a good
predecessor that asked if you liked horror movies.
All right, we'll scratch that one. All right. The synopsis below.
No, he can have the point.
I'll still take the point.
He still got
take
it.
the point.
The
I knew what you
synopsis
meant.
below most accurately represents what horror film? A research team in Antarctica.
Fuck.
The Thing.
Yeah.
Correct. In which horror film does the phrase "the power of Christ compels you"? I think that was you,
It
Ben.
was, Ben.
The Exorcist.
What was a 1953 horror film remade in 2005 with Paris Hilton in the lead role?
Jimmy.
I'm going to give that one.
House of Wax.
Correct.
Nice.
What horror film used the following tagline? In space.
Jimmy.
I
That's
think that was
Brad. That's Brad.
Alien.
In space, no one can hear you scream. Correct. What is the highest grossing Stephen King film adapt? Yep.
The Shawshank Redemption.
False. The
What
Shawshank
is the highest
Redemption was a
grossing-
box office flop.
Stephen King film
Ooh.
adaptation to date.
Chibi.
Yep.
Chibi. It Chapter 1.
Correct.
Nice.
What television series is based on a concept for an
The Twilight Zone.
No.
Continue.
Shit.
What television series is based on a concept for an unproduced episode of The X-Files? This was also a film series.
Repeat the question,
Yeah.
even though I can't answer.
Okay, what I'm going to do is this television series didn't even, I don't even think
No.
get an episode.
Say
But
the
what
same.
I'm going to do.
Say this. No.
No, I'm going to
Give
make
Brad a
this
choice
question.
here. Say the same thing. The exact same thing.
What television series is based on a concept for an unproduced episode of The X-Files? This was also a film series. Think more about film series.
Unproduced episode of the X-Files.
Connected to film series.
And it's also a film series.
It was based on an unproduced episode of The X-Files that
Is
got
it
turned into a film series and a television series, but it didn't really last, the television series. It's more popular for the film series.
Wow, I'm popular for the film series. X-Files.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They were going to turn this into a TV series that never really got off, but it was the Final Destination films. It was based on a
interesting.
X-Files idea.
Didn't know that.
Nice.
When Carrie takes the stage after her election as prom king, bullies Dowser and what animal?
Jimmy.
I think that was Ben.
Pig's blood.
Also, it's prom queen.
What'd you say?
He said king.
I thought I said queen, but all right.
Pig's
What,
blood.
what film was A Quiet Place initially intended to be a sequel to?
Chibi.
I love that you're.
Are you asking me, Jimmy? Or-
Yeah, because I don't know if this
the
is.
sound that you made was very, very much like
It will make sense.
Quibby.
I don't know if this is if it's true. If this is
Chibi?
the answer, but
I don't know if it's true either, but I got it.
because I don't think it is. But I'm gonna say Cloverfield.
That's exactly what I have in this quiz here.
Yeah.
Which I didn't make this quiz, by the way. I found the quiz.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think it's true.
cool.
But all right. In the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, what is Nancy's address?
1428 Elm Street.
Correct, but I didn't get a chibi from you.
You know,
1428 Elm Street.
you know what's funny is the only reason I know that is because of the framed game.
Yep.
All right, last question.
We're all tied up.
Are we really?
I don't know.
No, what we're going to say, though. What is the name of the camp where Jason...
Shit.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Benny wins!
Yay! I did something by just being impulsive.
Hey, thanks for playing, guys.
That was fun.
That was good. Just good Fast and Furious horror trivia.
Well, Fast and Furious is not a horror franchise, but
Tell that to Fast 6.
tell that to Paul Walker.
Nah, that was one of the good ones. I should have said the bad one.
Guys, Nate, Brad, where can they find you on the online?
I am on Twitter at Ethan_Anderton, also slashfilm.com. You can find me writing about stuff every now and then. Please check out Slash Film Daily. Check out our podcast, the 10 to 1 podcast, if you like the Saturday Night Live series of sketch comedy. And also at Look at Brad's Junk on Instagram if you like finding out about snack foods, soft drinks, fast food. You're looking for some theater snack to sneak into the movie theater. Just check it out. You'll find a bunch of tasty things.
How about you, Nateford?
Yeah, again, like us on the Facebooks and the Twitters. Go also listen to our 10 to 1 podcast. We always enjoy talking SNL and sketch comedy with people. And again, if you're listening to the episodes, comment on our stuff. It's always fun to engage with listeners. Our listenership seems to keep on growing, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can find us at Nate Laux. Find me at Nate Laux on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you're within a 1 hour drive of Northwest Indiana, you can check out Full Tilt Arcade and Pinball. We just opened an arcade in Northwest Indiana. So if you're from Chicago or up or into like Benton Harbor, Michigan, or West Lafayette,
Monticello, Indiana.
Take a drive. Come to LaPorte, Indiana. Come to Full Tilt Arcade and Pinball. We've got 19 pinball machines and more than 50 cabinet games. And it's my life savings on the line. So please support us.
It's a great. People are talking really highly about it.
Now, do you guys have quarters?
FullTiltLP.com. It's on a card system.
What are your hours?
I'll tell you at FullTiltLP.com. That's a great show. Thanks for being here.
Which
both
games
of
do you have?
I love you so much, except for you, Brad. We have Galaga coming soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?